Your mind doesn't need fixing. It needs listening. It needs understanding. Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining me here today. If you're new, I'm Amanda. Welcome to the channel where we are all about shattering the mental health stigma. I have survived my own hand. I've survived addiction. I've survived narc abuse. I'm still standing. I got a bachelor's degree in forensic psychology, and I like looking at music from a mental health lens, breaking down the lyrics, talking about it through the lens of my experiences and through the lens of my education background. With that being said, if you haven't already, please make sure you make sweet, sweet love to that subscribe button, give the bell a few kisses so you're not missing any of this content designed to help you with your mental health or help you help someone else. Today I'm going to be reacting to Judith by A Perfect Circle. So the only Perfect Circle song I've ever heard is Arrestus, I think is how you say it. I used to listen to that a lot on my iPod. Totally just aged myself. Other than that, I don't think I've heard any music from A Perfect Circle, and it's been a very long time since I've listened to that song. This was a request from one of my amazing Patreons who said they wanted to remain anonymous because they didn't want their name attached to this reaction. So that has piqued my curiosity of what on earth this song is about and what the context is there that they don't want their name attached to it. The person has requested here on the channel before. One of the perks of being one of my Patreons is getting priority song requests, as well as getting on intimate Zoom calls with me once a month, and so much more, and every single dime goes toward my mental health outreach. But I am seriously curious, what on earth could this song reveal that could make a person who has been upfront in the past want to be anonymous? So I am definitely going into this going, what are we doing? So here we go, Judith by A Perfect Circle.
For the ways that I will never ever choose to be. Oh, so many ways for me to show you how your Savior has abandoned you. Fuck your God, your Lord, your Christ. Even that you had him. Still you pray, never stray, never.
My request is trying to get me in trouble. I feel so conflicted here because this is kicking up so much for me. I have a lot of religious trauma. I've been trying to open up about it. I feel like it was not well received when I was questioning on a short I recently did. My little atheist brain is swaying so hard already. I didn't have a heads up to censor my thoughts here, so I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little anxious. I'm actually shaking because I didn't have the opportunity to filter out maybe what I should and shouldn't say. I don't want to be offensive, as I welcome believers into the community with open arms. I have prayed with people here in the community, at least held space and sat with them while they prayed, if that was something that comforted them, even though I don't believe. But as an atheist, this is definitely more relatable than others may find it for me. I do want to be clear up front that I'm not a non-believer out of rebellion or trauma or not getting what I wanted. A lot of people think that I'm rebelling against God. No, I don't believe in God, so I can't be rebelling against him. I'm a non-believer because the more I prayed or questioned or searched those exact things that believers were asking me to do, the less that I just blindly accepted what I was being told was absolute truth, the more alone I felt and the less Christianity made sense. So I did a short like a week or so ago. I don't know, my brain's a little freaking out right now, so my time perception might be off, but I did this short where I was asking a question, and maybe I didn't word it in the perfect way, but I had so many questions when I was a Christian that never got answered, and I just wanted to start asking some of those, opening up conversation so that people that were also struggling like me with religious trauma and stuff could feel supported, but also so Christians could feel heard. I thought it was great. I've been doing it over on TikTok and it's been very well received, but this short was not. because I feel like people just thought that I was trying to attack Christians, and that's not my intent. But I do want to be authentic and honest in my breakdown here. So I think these lyrics reflect reaching the point where belief stops protecting and starts betraying. You're such an inspiration for the ways I will never choose to be. The beginning there, it's not arrogance. I think that it's a refusal to follow a system that glorifies suffering. So you have Jesus having to have suffered for all of us, and then you have this belief that suffering is a merit badge, and you will get more crowns in heaven or more favor with God or whatever the case is. I personally don't want to model myself after the God of the Bible or your average Christian, because my interpretation of the deity and overall experience with the followers does not reflect what I believe to be love, compassion, and kindness. Your average Christian. I just want to reiterate that I have had many beautiful experiences with very supportive Christians that have helped me in times of need, that have been my friends. I still am friends with believers. So your average Christian, based on my experience, I just want to really drive that home. It's just not loving kindness to me, and I don't interpret the God of the Bible to be this loving, kind God. And I have read the Bible from cover to cover. So the idea that a savior has abandoned you, I think reflects the frustration many feel when faith promises answers it never delivers, where silence isn't mysterious anymore. It's not just, oh, God works in mysterious ways. I hate that platitude, but it's empty. And the let me show you part, that's me over here believing that I could break the logic of religion in about 10 seconds, but it's not considered socially acceptable to challenge a person's religion, though it's perfectly okay for a religious person to challenge an atheist and challenge my atheism, so I think that's pretty hypocritical. I don't think that's fair. But the anger in the F you God, it isn't just disbelief, it's the justified fury at being taught that obedience would shield you only to find yourself suffering alone. And still you pray, you never stray, shows how devotion can become a cage. Never thought to question why highlights how unquestioned belief can cause critical thinking and self-agency. So there's this cognitive dissonance that I'm going to believe this even if logic is pointing somewhere else. I don't want to hear that logic. I'm going to create other beliefs that will allow me to keep this original belief. I can't be proved wrong. So that's a problem I have in religion, is there's no opportunity for someone to prove them wrong. They are not open to that. And I think any belief, even atheism, like I'm willing to be proved wrong, but I just haven't been. And I think when you are willing to start arranging reality to fit this belief, no matter what it is, religious or not, that is where things become problematic. But I think this is reclaiming meaning for yourself, refusing to let ignored suffering be sanctified by someone else's doctrine, because at the end of the day, these books are written by man. Whether they're inspired by God or not is not my place. I don't believe they are, but it's not my place to say with certainty. But at the end of the day, they were written and edited and interpreted and translated into different languages by man. actually shaking right now because I'm so nervous. Obviously, this person that requested this, who I will respect and keep anonymous, wanted to see me shaking in my boots here. You succeeded. You definitely succeeded. And actually, I am ironically wearing boots today. So that it packed such a punch that there weren't a lot of lyrics, but man, do they pack a really heavy punch that I know is going to be very upsetting for a lot of people. I think the first part of this second half is saying, like, it's not like you killed your Christ. It's not like you well, it's not like you killed your Christ even though you were punished for the sins of those before you, according to Christianity. Not accepting Jesus has the same result as if you killed him yourself, eternal torture, even if you were a good person, according to Christian beliefs. And I think the song is a direct confrontation with the way faith can be weaponized against its own followers. I think psychologically it's about the dissonance between obedience and personal truth. I'm trying so hard to stay as factual as possible without getting too emotional here. But praise the one who left you broken down and paralyzed exposes the betrayal, I think, that comes when suffering is framed as purposeful rather than random or senseless, as I believe it to be. I believe that it's chaos. There's no rhyme reason as to who suffers and who doesn't. I think that based on the evidence I've seen, Christians aren't healed or favored in this world at a higher rate than non-believers. In fact, there was a major study that showed prayer actually had a negative impact on people who were being prayed for, like with their healing after major surgeries, I think it was, they had a more negative impact than the ones who weren't prayed for. Now, it's also saying, let me show you how your dogma has abandoned you. So it went from how you're savior to now how your dogma has abandoned you. In other words, let me challenge your beliefs and see if they can withstand scrutiny. So I think that, I know this sounds kind of weird, but I think that religious people should be grateful for atheists because we can help you strengthen your faith. Because if we can question you, if we can challenge you, if we can ask you these questions and you can work out real, true, genuine answers without having to dance around and make things up, then I think that that would strengthen your faith. So I don't understand why there's so much anger and aggression toward atheists when we challenge or question things, when I think that that would just be a way of strengthening your faith. I think the repetition of he did it all for you, he did it all for you, like Christ did this for you, he died for you, he gave himself for you, God gave his only son for you. I think that repetition reads kind of like a sarcastic indictment. I think it's highlighting how dogma can convince people to internalize their pain, again, as a badge of honor. So it turns into, this is a moral failure, and it turns into this badge of honor. I saw a comment on my TikTok the other day. So I have been producing atheist content on TikTok, and it's been pretty well received. Like, there's been a lot of conversation, which is what I love, is conversation on both sides, on different topics with different questions. And I think that's awesome because it helps me, you know, expand and learn and either solidify beliefs, change beliefs sometimes, etc. But I saw one the other day where this person was replying to a commenter. Like, I guess this commenter was talking about how another person had said that the poster, they were jealous that the poster got cancer because it meant that they were being chosen to be tested by God. And I'm like, is God John Kramer? Like, what are we doing here? But I just thought that that was abhorrent. Why would anyone think that? And that's the experiences that I see, the things that I hear coming out of mouths of Christians. And I just think that most of the people watching this video, I'm sure, can agree that that is abhorrent. But I hear things like that so frequently, and it's so upsetting that's why sometimes I can feel unaccepted and pushed away and ostracized by Christians, because I feel like I'm not allowed to have conversation, I'm not allowed to question, I'm not allowed to talk. I just feel like I have to put on a mask, and I've done that enough in my life that I just don't want to continue doing that. And I'm not allowed to call out and say, wow, that's gross, because then they'll say, oh, well, that's just this one fringe Christian, when I'm like, I've heard stuff like that a lot from Christians, and I don't know what it is that they're interpreting in the Bible that leads them to that. But one of my big points is the Bible should be clear enough that it should not be open for interpretation. You know what I'm saying? Like, if God inspired it and he's all-knowing, then he would know that we're not going to understand it, so he would word it or inspire people to word it in a way that would be clearly interpreted and not open for interpretation. Just my perspective. But never taste of the fruit, never choke on a lie. So I think the fruit is Eve, original sin. If you accept this story as truth, you will never choke on the shortcomings of its logic. I mean, it shows, though, how unquestioned faith can stifle curiosity and critical thinking, keeping someone bound to a system that never truly protects them, that the people in the faith aren't going to protect them. There have been a lot of cases of them telling people not to report crimes and to report it internally in the church. I've seen that in multiple sects of Christianity, the LDS church, the Catholic church, the Baptist church. I've seen that in a lot of different sects where S-E-C-T-S, where they are telling victims not to report crimes, not to report SA or other violent acts, and to allow them to handle it internally, which that is obstructing justice. That is not okay. But I feel like they're not protected by that. They're not protected by their faith. They're not protected by their God, because it doesn't matter what happens to them here. They'll just go to heaven, right? So from an atheist and personal lens, I don't think that this is just a critique of religion. I will end it with that. I don't think that this is just a critique of religion. It's pointing out how blind belief in anything can normalize harm, and how reclaiming your reasoning, your rationality, your autonomy is in itself an act of liberation. Because if you believe that the church can do no wrong, like, let's just say you are such a devout believer that you believe the church can do no wrong, then that means that you are going to jump through all kinds of mental hoops in your head to justify why, for example, them not reporting something is for the greater good. It's for the greater good of protecting the church. It's for the greater good so that person can find forgiveness, whatever the case is. It's not okay. And once you can say, you know what, like, I can think for myself. I don't need someone else telling me what to think. I can seek out these answers to these questions. I can look, and maybe that guides you to God. Maybe it doesn't, but at least you asked and you got there on your own. That's all I've ever really encouraged, is let's ask questions. Let's experience different beliefs and cultures and religions and thoughts and ideas, and then based on our own experience, based on our own logic, based on the experiences that we're observing, based on all of these different things, so we have a full picture, so we're fully informed, we're making a fully informed decision, then we can decide what we believe. So it's not us having other people just tell us, it's experiencing and questioning and looking into things on our own. Does that make sense? I hope that made sense. I hope that I was trying to be authentic to myself without getting heated, and getting in this rage without having the opportunity to censor my thoughts. So I hope I did a good job at breaking down this song from my perspective. I know there's lots of different unique perspectives out there. There's going to be, Christians reacting to it, therapists reacting to it, music, vocal coaches and stuff reacting to it. This is just my perspective, and I hope that it gave you maybe a unique one and a different one. Feel free to ask questions. That's what I love, but let's be respectful in the comments. I hope that this came off as respectful. Had no intention to attack anyone, to ostracize anyone, to make anyone feel unwelcome here. Again, this is a safe space for you, whether you're a believer in Christianity or Hinduism, or you're an atheist or whatever. This is a safe space for you to come and share your mental health stories, good, bad, and crazy, in the comments. That's how we shatter the mental health stigma, is by talking about it. And there are a lot of people who are in faith and who are struggling, who have deconstructed and are struggling, and it's important that we hear all of those different journeys and hold space for them. And that's what I'm trying to do in the communities, hold space for different people from different walks of life. But sometimes I might challenge you, and I don't want that to be interpreted as me not loving and accepting you. So give this video a thumbs up, share it. You never know who might need to see it. I love all of you guys here in the community so much, and I'll see you next time. Mwah.